The Bad Boys podcast is brought to you by Iconic Motor House, the guys making your motoring fantasies a reality. Visit iconicmotorhouse.com.
Today on the show, the Tinder Swindler Swindled gets swindled a second time, and so does an Aussie DJ.
What does an Aussie singer do to promote his music? Well, he creates his own beer, of course. We speak to singer Greg Nunan and the General Jacksons.
And the new celebrity meat diet that consists of other celebrities. You heard it first.
All that and more on the Bad Boys podcast.
If you want the hard-hitting journalism of Four Corners, the reliable current affairs of, well, a current affair, and the planning that goes into classy shows like The Project, then you've tuned into the wrong podcast. It's comedy, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and news stories that makes Fox News sound like an episode of The Muppets. Or maybe it's the other way around. Conversations no one wants to have, but everyone wants to hear. This is the Bad Boys Podcast. Welcome to the Bad Boys Podcast. And Andrew doesn't know that we're going to be talking about this later on in the show, but the celebrity meat diet that actually includes other celebrities. This is a real thing. That is actually...
Sorry, hold on a second. Like meat diet as in eating them? Or is this one of those drunken, which celebrity would you bloody go down on?
No, this is real celebrities that have donated their skin to the cause of creating meat. Look, you'll hear about it. Believe me, when you hear this, you will not believe it.
Right. Yeah, okay.
But anyway, to kick off the show, we have Greg Nunan and the General Jacksons coming on shortly. But first, we were talking a few weeks back about this show called the Tinder Swindler and how this guy got on Tinder and conned all these women, right?
Right.
Well, apparently the victim of the Tinder Swindler has been swindled again. I mean, what's the phrase? Once conned, twice a fool, or something like that?
Something like that. That's right.
Yeah.
So, okay, fill me in on all the details.
Okay, so we're going to play a little clip which was on Media Watch on the ABC. This clip talks about how someone from Austereo in Australia here decided to interview the victim of the Tinder Swindler. Now, it wasn't on TV. It wasn't video. It was over the phone. So Let's play a little bit of this, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
The Tinder Swindler, a doco on Israeli conman Simon Levayev and the women he fleeced through the dating app, was a global smash hit for Netflix last month. London-based Norwegian Cecilie Fjellhøy was one of three women who told her story of deceit and despair, and recently she's been busy retelling the tale as a warning to others.
How much money did he con from you?
It's over £200,000 now, and is in high-interest loans that are still accumulating.
So, when Cecilia put up her hand for a chat to an Australian audience, the briefing jumped at the chance. The popular daily news podcast, produced by audio giants Southern Cross Austereo, made Cecilia their feature interview on 11th of March, with Katrina Blowers taking the call.
33-year-old Cecilie Fjellhøy is one of Levayev's victims. She was even thinking about moving in with him, and she joins us from Norway now. He looked pretty good on his Instagram, didn't he?
Yeah, he does, and that's what got me attracted to him, because he's my type.
Blowers threw in her own stories of dating app disasters, and after thanking her guest, ended with this message for the audience.
And I guess the takeaway here is listen to your gut, ladies and men.
Listen to your gut and look for red flags in dating and in journalism. As you may have noticed, Cecilia on the briefing sounded absolutely nothing like the real Cecilia. And when the real Cecilia was tagged on the briefing's Instagram page, she responded with the obvious question.
That is not my voice. What is going on here?
We don't know if that's the first hint the briefing had that they themselves had been swindled. But we do know that 2 days later, Blowers was back on air with this important update.
We wanted to let you all know that we had to take down our Friday episode of The Briefing. If you didn't hear it, that was the interview about the Netflix series with one of the victims, or at least so we thought.
So they thought. As host Tom Tilley, a former Triple J presenter, then explained...
Turns out the person Katrina interviewed wasn't the real Cecile. And yes, we do realise the irony of this. Someone was impersonating her, and our suspicion is that this imposter was trying to profit from the story, either through fake fundraising or paid media interviews.
It seems the Briefing producers set up the chat with a PR agency purporting to work for Netflix, and that agency is also a fake.
So the guts of it is that this lady from Oz Stereo, right, Katrina Blowers, received a phone call saying, "Why don't you interview, my client who was on the Tinder Swindler?" And she said, "Yep, no worries, I'll do that." So she jumps on the phone and does this whole interview. And it wasn't until the actual victim heard the interview that she went, "Hang on a second," because see, they actually tagged her on Facebook.
Right.
And she went, "Hang on, that doesn't even remotely sound like me."
So obviously it was an imposter pretending to be the Tinder swindler, and apparently as well, this imposter wanted to get paid for the interview.
Yes, so
and it was denied.
But you look at who's involved. Not just the imposter that's getting paid. The PR company knew that it was an imposter.
Did they, or was the PR company fake as well?
The PR company was fake as well. So yeah, you got to kind of wonder what this woman did in a past life to have all of this shit happening to her now.
Yeah, look, right. So the people at Oz Stereo didn't think to check.
But what can you check? What can you check? So let's think about it from our perspective, right? A PR company. Maybe we don't know them. Maybe they're brand new. They say we want you to do an interview with this particular artist or celebrity, and then if we get on the phone with them, they can only do a phoner. So they get on the phone, and then they start talking. How do we know whether they're legit or not? We're just taking the word of the PR company. Now,
yeah, sure, fair enough.
Katrina,
we wouldn't bother checking.
No, exactly. And Katrina, she's done what any DJ would have done and just gone, "Beauty, I've just scored, the interview of a lifetime. I'm going to interview the girl that was on this hit TV show." And so she's now put in a retraction. But it kind of begs the question, how often does this happen?
Yeah, look, I find it fascinating, actually. You're right, because, one assumes that they were trying to do the scam so they could get paid.
Yeah.
Like scammers don't do it for any other reason.
And I guess because it was such a big show, they're like, okay, we're out on the circuit now. You want to give us some money to get paid? I mean, they get paid for these things now.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But I suppose when you think about it from that perspective, this girl has lost, millions of dollars because of this Tinder swindler. She's going to want to be getting some money from somewhere, but she's dipped out again.
As it turns out, because she was not the one that got paid.
And look,
this woman that was being interviewed didn't sound anything like her at all.
Completely different voice.
Yeah.
Completely different.
From what I can gather, a completely different nationality as well.
She actually sounded South African, not Swedish.
Something weird going on there, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, one person that we know is legit because, we're going to be speaking with them face to face, and that is Greg Nunan. He's coming on to the Bad Boys podcast right after this break.
You ever been cruising down the main street with your mates only to be laughed at by the gorgeous girls passing you by? Well, maybe you need to get your own ride and leave your mum's Camry at home. Turning your cruising dreams into a reality has never been easier than it is now with Iconic Motorhouse. Regular draws, limited numbers, and access to special and unique deals from over 4,500 popular brands. They don't do Camrys, they only give away real men's cars. eye-catching cars that'll get them purring like a pussycat. So don't be a turkey. Go to iconicmotorhouse.com, choose how many tickets you want, and for a limited time, they'll increase your odds. It's never been easier to win a customised showpiece that will get their attention. iconicmotorhouse.com, giving you the opportunity to fulfill your motoring fantasy.
This is the Bad Boys Podcast. Well, welcome back to the Bad Boys Podcast. No stranger to the music scene, Greg Nunan has had an interesting musical career, fronting the famed Blues Machine in Singapore, sharing a bit of Smoke on the Water with Deep Purple, and even performing with Bette Midler's horn section. All the stages and the festivals, however, have led to this one point, his new single, Be Like Water, and the release of his own brand of Be Like Water beer. It doesn't get any more Australian than that. Fronting a new band called the General Jacksons. Welcome to the show, Greg Noonan.
Hey, thanks so much for having me,
mate?
guys. This is really exciting. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome, mate.
Now, any artist in Australia, I think you must be the envy of them because you've not only just released a single, but you've decided to go the whole hog and release your own can of beer.
Yeah. I'm still pinching myself, to be honest. I mean, how it all come about was, of course, we wrote the song and recorded it, and through the production, it was coming to the end. We were listening back to where, one of the last sort of mixes, and I've been playing at Buckety's Brewery for a while now in the northern beaches of Sydney, and Nick, the owner, was there, and I said, "Hey, mate, do you want to have a listen to our new single?" He said, yeah. And he's having a listen. He's like, "Man, this is good." I said, "Thanks." I said, "Let's make a beer with it." And left it at that. And he's like, listen to the song. He's grinning. He's nodding. And then I said later on, "What do you reckon?" And he just paused. There was this pause. And he just looked at me and said, "Fuck it. Let's do it."
Nice.
Awesome. I love it. How Australian's that?
Are you a bit concerned that you've called it Be Like Water, that, it doesn't taste like water,
No,
right?
It doesn't taste like, and that's, and you know what? It's a bit of the irony is that it's 5% and it'll hit you if you're having a few. But look, the whole thing how it's come about, the story behind it was through COVID, my sister was going through a pretty hard time. I was on the phone to her. One particular night we had a conversation, and I'd been reading a book on the 81 verses of the Tao Te Ching, in which Bruce Lee, you can see a photo here of him on my chest here. Yeah. He famously talks about be the cup of water, be like water, and I was resonating with the whole Tao Te Ching text in terms of that. And I was talking to my sister about it, and she said it really helped to just sort of recalibrate how she was feeling. And so the next day I literally wrote the song in 10 minutes, which doesn't come like that all the time. And then we developed the song and thought this is a leader out of the songs that we've got for the forthcoming album. Yeah. So
now, were you a little concerned when just about the time of release,
no,
the water just started pissing down?
Well, I mean, look, this is the thing. This is the irony. I mean, yeah, we've had a truckload of water. People all over the world are seeing us drowning with the rainfall, and my heart goes out to all the people up north, even at the moment. Yeah. But yeah, the irony is, what can you do? All these people are just rolling with the punches, which is exactly what the wisdom is saying with deluge of water. I mean, you've got to go with it, right? I mean, the ocean, the ocean lays low. It's cool, and all the rivers run to the ocean. So, I think it's a good time to remind, with everything going on, if we can just be humble and thankful for the little that you may have. There's always someone worse off.
I totally get it, mate. Look, I've been thinking the same, similar to the whole Ukraine thing as well.
Absolutely.
Russia, blasting the shit out of them. It's, you sort of sit back and you go, you know what, whatever problem I've got, It's not even scratching the surface to what people around the world are dealing with. And, of course, it's always been the case. We just get kind of caught up and lost in our own the self-importance of our lives, don't we?
Yeah.
You do. And, I mean, a lot of my friends don't watch the news because it's all pretty heavy. But I guess in a way you can flip that if you want to. You can watch that news and go, you know what, I'm across what's going on a global scale, and I'm humbled that I'm all right, for whatever it is that you've gone through. Even when you've lost your stuff, at least you've got your arms and your limbs, and you can rebuild. It's hard, and I don't know. That's what I'm taking away with the message, because the message has lasted like eons, and it got me and my sister through some stuff, and I'd only be happy if that was the case. People listening to the song and got a little bit of that out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. And now you've got a can of beer there. If you want to just hold it up,
I do. This is the can here. Now the story too is the guys I play with. He's an amazing artist. In fact, he's doing an Archibald painting of Harry Bruce, famous bass player, Australian bass player. He's played Australian Crawl, Renee Gayer, Jimmy Barnes, and that's his painting. And on the can, you can see there's a QR code. Where is it? No, it's here. It is. And so when you're having your beer, you can scan the song and it'll stream instantly for you.
Nice.
So you're tasting what you're hearing.
It's almost got a bit of a Nirvana-esque sort of feel to it, but it's not a baby. It's a puppy.
No, and you know what? The good thing is that dog won't take band members to court.
That's it, hey?
Yeah, so that's like it's a real spin out, like, to have this. It's an amazing marketing thing. People are really going, wow, that's really cool.
Did you have any say as to what the flavour of the beer was going to be?
One of the coolest things was Tony, the head brewer at Bucketies. We sat down for a meeting and Nick said, let's put the track on. We'll talk about beer and find what it is, the flavours that you'd like it to be. And Tony was asking me some questions. So what sort of beers do you like? I said, look, I really like a hoppy beer. I said, I really got into IPAs when I went to America back in 2006 with the Sierra Nevada. Anyway,
nice.
Enough said. He's processing different things, and we talked about listening to the song. He's writing the recipe down like he's deciphering Morse code. It was like, what are you doing, dude? He said, I'm writing the recipe. I'm like, I think I've got it. Anyway, he said, what we're going to do is we're going to do a cold XPA, or he said an XPA, and then later they've done some investigating. In America, they've been doing cold IPAs. And from their knowledge at Bucketies, there's any, no one's really doing a cold XPA, and it's a little bit.
Okay, so for the uninitiated around, beers and the intricacies, the difference between an IPA and an XPA.
Okay, so an IPA, an Indian Pale Ale, is going to be quite a darker colour ale. Now, an XPA is short for Extra Pale Ale, so it becomes it's pale in colour. When you see it, it's quite clear. And this one's even more pale than probably standard XPA in the way they've done it. So it's an ode to the name, Be Like Water.
Nice.
And yet the hops that they've used is making that flavour big. So it's quite a big flavour that tightens off. And it's a really quite a beer that you drink all day, which is going to.
That's awesome. So now I'm assuming if we go to a concert, Greg Nunan and the General Jacksons and stuff like that, I'm assuming that there'll be a bar there stocked with this.
Look, I'm hoping. Look, there's not going to be it's not a huge run, but it's a big publicity push because when the beer's gone, it's gone. But who knows? He might do a rerun because it's such good beer. I mean, Tony might even want to enter it into some competitions because they've been winning some awards with their beer. There is a really great brewery, and they're just great people, and they're genuine fans of the music that we're playing, which
You know what we've got to do, Shane?
So we'd have a problem. We'd have a problem, Andrew. Seriously.
Well, we've got to create a bad boys beer. So people go up to the bar and say, "Give me a bad boy."
You don't drink beer. You drink apple cider.
Well, no, I actually drink scotch.
Nice.
But maybe we can mix a beer with a bit of an apple fruitiness to it with a shot of scotch in it.
I was going to say, why don't we have a beer with a scotch chaser?
Yeah,
as part of it. I mean, there you go. That's it. There you go.
That'd be a real bad boy, wouldn't it?
That would be a pretty bad boy, all right?
Too bloody right. If anything, it's going to open a few legs, which is what the bad boys do, isn't it?
Well, apparently.
Oh, mate, my legs will be open after a few of those.
Yeah.
You've got one taker already, Andrew, so there you go.
Oh, gosh.
Just tell us a little bit too about your time over in Singapore and how did you get to be performing with bands like Deep Purple? I mean,
oh man, this was a spin out. This was a spin out because we're playing. We played a gig at the world famous Basement in Sydney, and
nice.
And a friend of a friend who actually plays a mean harp. He got up with us, and he had an amazing night with us. Really cool guy, and he was an Aussie guy. He still lives in Southeast Asia. Saw me after the show. He said, "I've got to chat to you about something. I'll call you tomorrow." Anyway, he called me. He said, "Look, you'd be perfect to play at the Crazy Elephant Bar in Singapore." I said, "Oh, really?" So he said, "They need a frontman, and I can put you in touch and recommend you." And I've had over the years all sorts of things that people ask me to play all sorts of things, and it doesn't come through. And I said, "Okay, yeah, cool. I'm open to it all." Anyway, sure enough, he put me through in touch, and it happened. They said, "Yep, come over, we'll look after you, pay for flights, your accommodation, and look after you. You play a 3-month stint." And I'm like, "Whoa, okay, why not?" So this was back early, probably at 2004, and I went over there, and I hadn't even met the band yet. I sent a song list. I said, "Look, I can just train these guys up on the fly," and they're like, "That's what we need. We need someone who can just run with it. We get crowds in here, 250 to 300 people. We need someone in." So the first night I'm there, meeting the drummer and shaking his hand, and the bass player shaking his hand, and then we're getting into it, and then Deep Purple walk in on the very first night to jam at the Crazy Elephant, and over the years, I've had all sorts of famous people come in to play and jam because that's how it's been known. And I'm going, "You're fucking kidding me!" I'm like going, "You're kidding!" I mean, buying us rounds of beers, sitting in, and then the jamming happens, and I'm just like spinning out. And then over the years, because then it was like at the back end of the Gulf War, they'd have these American ships come in, and they're like cities of thousands of servicemen and women, and they just dropping serious coin into Singapore, and these guys are like throwing it down, putting bottles of whiskey in front of us, going, "That's yours, man. Let's party. Let's get behind this." And then you got touring bands like Bette Midler's horn section come in one night. She was doing a show in Singapore, and they just wanted to go out and party and found the joint. We're all up playing. Let's go.
It's a great joint that. I was there back in 2007 or something and just stumbled across the place. Didn't know it from a bar or so. Stumbled across the place. Joint. And that night, what drew me in is there was some Guns N' Roses playing. And I'm listening to it outside, walking past, and I had a team of people with me. And we wandered in, and I remember thinking, fuck, that sounds like Axl Rose. Like, it was dead set on the mark. And I walk in there, and it's an Indian band, like as in Central Asian Indian band. And this guy sounded more like Axl Rose than Axl Rose did.
Man.
And he was there in his jumper and his tracksuit top, and like it was like Raj from Big Bang Theory. And he's sitting there singing Axl Rose, and it was unbelievable. Anyway, we were there all night buying them drinks and slowly getting shit-faced. It was absolutely fabulous.
It's a really good joint. It's very, like, just low and inviting, and it's, you know, you sign your name on the tables and walls, and they've got a great – I thought you were saying, like, you were hearing it, like, because they've got such a great song list that they're playing constantly, all these new songs that they –
No, this was an actual – and we were so shocked to find a bunch of Indian guys in there just killing it. It was just amazing.
So good. Yeah, it's a credible place, and did probably about 7 tours over there. Even took my family over a number of times, and just like the people we've met and the fan base that they've got over in Singapore and beyond from there has like been immensely valuable in terms of even just getting my foundation of chops playing, 3 or 4 hours a night for 6 nights a week for 3 months. You sharpen up pretty quick.
Time.
Yeah. And now you've got your own album out now. Well, this is your second album, right?
The second album,
Second album. And it's called This Is a Recording.
This is a Recording. Yeah, a few people have been going, well, that's an interesting name. But I think
I like the simpleness of Be Like Water. This is a recording.
Yeah.
Just like just for the Australian, just in case they've drunk too many of your beers, just be like, this is the album. It's called a recording.
We're all going to be dumber after drinking so many of these beers. We know that. It's a good point. But the name is I guess reflective of the times. It's like a benchmark of where we're at. I mean, this is a recording in time for us all right now, going through a pandemic. And at the moment with these floods and fires and all sorts of stuff going on, I mean, it's a bit of a play on words, but it's a little bit more deeper too, Yeah.
It's an interesting thing you say that. I think about the apocalypse every now and then, the impending apocalypse that modern culture is telling us is coming. And if it wasn't fires...
Which I'm saying is a zombie apocalypse, but,
Right, and it wasn't the pandemic, and it's not the floods. I think the one that they haven't portrayed is a useless fucking government. I think that's what's actually going to kill us all.
Killing us slowly.
Yeah, slowly.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we are going to take a listen to the new single, and look, I love this song. It's going to be on Bad Boys FM as well. But if you want to take a listen to it, you can head over to your website as well. If you've finished listening to our podcast, where can they find you?
So we're on all the music platforms. There's gregnunan.com where you can grab yourself some stubby holders and some beers if I've got them left.
I love that.
And also doing Good Afternoon and on Thursdays on YouTube, Facebook and Twitch if you want to tune into a bit of a fun show, hence the setup I've got here.
Yeah, we'll put a link up on our social medias just to make sure that you can head over to check out Greg's podcast. Do you call it a podcast, videocast?
I'm just calling it a broadcast at the moment, but
broadcast,
just like a live stream broadcast. There you go.
There you go. Excellent. Greg Nunan and the General Jacksons with their new single, Be Like Water. Thanks for joining us on the show, Greg.
Oh, guys, Shane and Andrew, thank you. Bad Boys, you rock. Seriously, thank you very much.
cry to sleep. Your soul will guide your mind to keep. It won't matter the words they'll say. That's none of your business anyway. Like water when things are hard, softly spoken to your tender heart. Be like water, let time stand still. Hold your pain to a fire of will. When things are hard, softly spoken to tender heart. Be like water, let time stand still. Hold your pain to a fire
If you like your nuts being gently cupped by an angel, then Man Up Down Under are the duds for you. Environmentally friendly with bamboo inserts that are soft, strong, and lifts your weight with ease. Longer in the legs so they stay put. They're cool in summer and warmer when it matters. Man Up Down Under, underwear your girl will want to see you in and that you won't want to take off. Go to manupdownunder.com.au and buy a week's supply for your package because your junk deserves the very best. This is the Bad Boys Podcast. Welcome back to the Bad Boys Podcast and celebrity meet.
Right.
So we're going to go here. We're going to go
like a bit of a low-hung argument to me, but look, what do I know?
Well, okay, so we all have heard about vegan diets. We've heard about meat diets. We've heard that celebrities go on these crazy meat diets.
Yeah, celebrity diets and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like the Kim Kardashian diet where they get liposuction, they suck the fat from the stomach and they stuff it into the arse and into the tits.
No, not really.
I think that's a great diet.
But so now there's a company that's come out called Bite Labs. And this is a legitimate thing. Bite Labs grows meat from celebrity tissue samples and uses it to make special meat salami.
Right.
Do you need a second to think about that?
Fuck me.
So now it all starts.
Does that mean that if you had the Kanye salami, it would be fat, useless, and fucking stupid?
So no, the Kanye salami apparently pulls no punches, is heavy and boldly flavored, Pure Kanye West meat will blend with rich, coarse ground pork, Hungarian paprika, and Worcestershire to give Kanye an underlying smokiness, spiced with hints of jalapeno. Best paired with strong, sweet, straight bourbon. Now,
Right. Is it also infused with a lot of bipolar drugs as well?
well,
That I'd be interested in.
no, but I think the Ellen DeGeneres salami is she's a bit questionable, but they said that she's highly approachable. I think this was probably written before that she went on her sacking spree.
Before she fell out of favour with the world.
That's it. There's James Franco's salami, which, I mean, it just opens up all different questions, doesn't it?
That's going to be a big seller, I reckon, up there with the Harry Styles.
And Jennifer Lawrence's salami as well. Now, I was on Facebook, and you get people that put things on Facebook. They put shit on Facebook all the time. This guy's come on Facebook, and he's gone, this is real. This is what's happening right now, people. If you don't wake up, right, they're preparing us for, the Walking Dead apocalypse, zombie apocalypse. Right now,
So
it's
how
happening.
How did he get from human meat salami, lab-made pizza meat to fucking zombies? How
Because
did
that's
he
how it
bridge
all
that gap?
starts, right? Because it starts. You get a taste for flesh, you want more, you become a zombie. It's just all nom-nom from there.
Okay, so there was this video that I saw, and I'm pretty sure it was a MasterChef or something like that. It was some type of cooking show, and the guy had actually served a dish, and they had to guess what the dish kind of was made from. And one of the options was human flesh, right? Anyway, they've gone, no, this is ridiculous. It can't be human flesh. You could see the people have already tasted it, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as he gave the option of it was either this or it was human flesh or it was this, they've turned and gone, oh, and they're spitting it out on the thing, and they're just going, right, no, that's not right. There's something wrong there.
It wasn't
and then they're
really,
going,
though, was it?
It wasn't really. No, they're going, oh, no. It couldn't have been human flesh and stuff like that. And then the guy's standing there just looking around. And he looks over to the producers and he's gone, what's going on? Like, we had legal check this. And he'd actually served them a dish that contained human flesh in it.
What did it taste like?
Legit.
Chicken?
I don't know what it tastes like. But you should see the look on their faces. And one of the judges kind of just went, nah, sorry, that's not right. And walked out. And like the poor guy was standing there. And the whole discussion came about the fact that we got legal to sign off on it. It was okay. Like we're okay to serve these people unsuspectedly human flesh.
Well,
it's like, fuck me.
Look, I'm a bit of a skeptic when it comes to things on social media because half the time it's probably not real. And, some people
I don't know.
post things
This looked more real than Will Smith's slap to me.
But it did, yeah. And I'm going, surely that can't be right. So I did a little bit of checking, a little bit of digging around. This company has been around for since about 2012, I think it is. And they've actually been, I think they're a legit company that want to actually go down this track of doing something really unusual. And none of the celebrities that are on their page have partaken in it yet. But they're saying they're trying to get people to tweet to Jennifer Lawrence or Kanye West and say, all you got to do is just go down to the lab, give us a little bit of your skin, and we can then use that to manufacture your taste into the salami. Now,
well, I tell you what we'd do. If they contacted us, I'd say fine, not a problem. But you got to take the skin from my ass. Because I want to see people all around the world just fucking kiss my ass. Or lick my ass either, for that matter. That'd be kind of tasty,
yeah, well,
I'm sure.
I'm just gobsmacked that this even exists. Apparently, it's all top quality ingredients. They mix celebrity and animal meat grown in-house from biopsied myoblast cells. Now, when you sort of think about it, and this reminds me of a story, I went to China and driving along and I see...
This is pre-COVID, right?
Pre-COVID. And I see all of these dogs in cages.
Yeah.
And I said, what are they in cages for? He said, that's our food. And I went, you've got to be kidding. And he said, but you eat your pets, you eat cows.
Yeah.
And, okay. So we've stepped from cows to dogs to human celebrities.
Yeah, well, in a lot of cultures and stuff, the eating of pigs is an unclean thing like eating humans is. And partly the whole eating the pigs being unclean was the fact that they were fed shit that you wouldn't eat. And of course then, you are what you eat, so the pig becomes effectively, because they've got all sorts of bits in there, and pigs were fed humans in the old days because it was a great way to strip the bodies.
Well, there you go.
I've eaten dog. So I had dog unsuspectingly. It actually did also make me quite crook. I had what I thought was beef and chips in Laos, in a small borderland town called Paxi. And let's just say it wasn't beef at all. It was canine of some variety. I found out afterwards. But look, I've eaten crocodile. I've eaten emu, I've eaten snake, I've eaten lizard, I've eaten, kangaroo, I've eaten, all this crazy stuff. The only thing I think that's Australian that I haven't eaten is koala.
And you wouldn't want to anyway, they're full of myxomatosis.
Right, yeah. Yeah, or Tasmanian devil full of syphilis.
Syphilis, yeah.
Or a Melbourne person as well,
yeah,
a Victorian full of syphilis as well.
There you go. Well,
so, look, my apologies to all of the Victorians out there. Look, I'm really sorry that you've all riddled with very nasty sexual diseases. Just stop fucking indiscriminately shagging each other, and you might be right.
What else have they got to do?
Well, you're right. It is Victoria after all.
That's right.
Just standing around, just shagging each other. Crazy.
Now, if you want to hear more incredible stories like this, or if you want to have a bit of a taste of Greg Nunan, well, his beer anyway, then head over to our Facebook social media pages, Facebook and Instagram. We're going to put the links up there for Greg's beer and his music and his single. You can find it at Official Bad Boys Podcast.
And if you're tired of the same boring old music, too many ads and just rubbish, if you're sick of all of that, go to badboysfm.com. Press play at the top of the screen there, and you have some of the best music in town, a bunch of indie artists as well, a bit of up-and-coming stuff. Bad Boys FM, music with attitude. Can't miss it, guys. It's good stuff.
Make sure you check it out. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy.
Press plus or follow to hear more great episodes from the Bad Boys. Or check us out on our social media at Official Bad Boys Podcast on both Facebook and Instagram.